Hi, I'm Dean Quinton, and this is Vanessa Sanyauke. You are watching Girls Talk London I Am Mogul series, and today we are joined by none other than legend herself, DJ Cuppy.
Yeah! I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Oh God, no!
So
Thanks for
excited.
being here. This has been like my favourite one so far.
Oh, we haven't even kicked off. Hey,
Well, I don't know. So far, it's so good.
We've been so excited, so thank you.
We have. It's been a build-up.
it's like I said, it's an absolute pleasure, and I Am Mogul series is a great project to be part of.
Well,
Thank you.
so good. Okay, so let's just jump straight in.
Yes.
So let's start with your parents.
Yes.
Both are successful entrepreneurs, but what did they teach you when you were growing up about business and your work ethic?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think parents is a great place to start when it comes to my story. Because so I was born in Nigeria, and from a very young age, I was always encouraged to follow my dreams and encouraged to just push the envelope, you know.
Talking about education, I mean, you're extremely well educated. So you've got 2 degrees. You've got
Yes.
a degree from King's College
Yes.
and then a master's at York
NYU,
University.
yeah.
So why was getting an education so important?
I mean, that's a great question. A lot of people and other DJs I've met, they're like, "You're a DJ. Why the
It's
heck?"
very, yeah, you've got
Yeah,
2
why do
degrees.
people say
Yeah.
that? Why do people say that though?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And a lot of people actually say, Cuppy, the 5 years you spent in university, you could have spent DJing around the world. But I've always seen that as actually, it's never been a waste of time. If anything, you know, I'm not going to say that I'm using economics on the decks.
No.
But, you know, I'm using that discipline I learned, that the same way you have assignments, you have deadlines, you have classes,
Yeah.
I apply that discipline to my business.
You interned at Rock Nation.
Yes.
So why did you decide to do an internship?
That's such a great question. So I literally left London and I just decided I'm going to be in New York.
Yeah.
So, you know, I went to New York for 2 years. So whilst in NYU getting my master's and also starting
Whilst I
my
was doing
business.
all this other stuff.
Literally, yeah, I managed to bag a job at Rock Nation, and that was such great timing because it was when they were really trying to enter the African market. So I'm super proud to say I was a huge part of that.
You were kind of like the beginning.
Yeah, you know, even from them partnering up with Nigerian labels locally, you know, getting Tiwa Savage involved. I was part of all that. And for me, you know, it's so great because it just shows you how global African content is becoming. And there as well, for me, it was important not to be a DJ for once and sit back and look at the business. So
say behind the
my
scenes.
my company, Red Velvet Music Group, is, I would say, essentially me trying to emulate the music business format they had at Rock Nation, where Jay-Z is Jay-Z, but he's also been able to step outside of being Jay-Z and create a platform for others to come.
I wanted to touch on is about being, you know, you're one of very few successful female DJs actually in the world.
Yeah.
It's a typically male dominated like sector.
Which is still crazy.
It's lots of men.
It is so crazy.
What's been some of your experiences? How have you kind of overcome the barriers in being a woman?
Yeah, that's a really good question because I don't think I've overcome them yet.
Okay.
You know, it's ongoing.
Yeah.
So you know, and I really hope my story inspires your viewers, but I'm still, every single day, we're still trying to get the barriers down. We're trying to kick doors down. You know, nothing is ever handed over to us. And when I say us, I mean my team, I mean people I work with, projects I work on. You know, there's always a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, so people see the gloss and they see the glitz.
glamour.
They see
You
the
know,
highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
highlight reel, exactly.
you know, and there's so much hard work behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
Because I did want to touch on, you touched on a bit about self-doubt. So
Yes.
was that kind of like, you know, now looking back, how do you deal with self-doubt?
Yeah, so that's a really good question because I don't know why. And you know, a lot of my friends say maybe I'm just like self-absorbed, which I don't think I am. But I feel like when you genuinely and you authentically work hard, no one can question you.
To talk more about Red Velvet Music Group.
Yes, absolutely.
And why did you decide to become an entrepreneur? It's tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a big thing.
It is so tough. Look, owning your own business is tough. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I have it all figured out. But it just felt like the right thing to do at the time. Now, it was calculated, which is very important to know, you know. It got to a point where I needed to own my own business. It wasn't something I did out of luxury, or it was just something I did out of wanting to say I was an entrepreneur. You know, the Cuppy brand was growing I was having more operations. I was traveling a lot more. There was actually a requirement for me to legally own my own entity, have my own content. So I always wanted RVMG to be a thing. And a lot of people ask me why it's called Red Velvet Music
I was
Group.
going to ask that as well.
Yeah.
Is
so,
it cupcake?
Yeah, so my name is Cuppy, which is from cupcakes.
Yeah.
Very simple. Red velvet is my favorite flavor.
I love that.
That's it.
We're talking of your brand and talking what you do. Tell us about Cactus.
Yes.
The biggest event.
It was like the biggest. Everyone on everyone's social media.
Everywhere
for
I looked on
weeks,
social
it's like,
media, everyone that I've on Instagram was there, and I was like, what the hell? Like, that's incredible.
So I'm so glad I've shared with you guys my story because, you know, if you notice there's a pattern, there's a lot of me just venturing out and doing the unknown. So so when I first came to the UK, like I said, Afrobeats wasn't as big as it is now. And, you know, even the Afrobeat scene it was good, but for me, it was so limiting, right? I felt like it was quite inclusive. If you want African, like, so if I was a non-African and I wanted to go and listen to Afrobeats, I'd have to almost go to a certain area that wasn't exactly, I don't know. It wasn't
what you
inclusive.
mean to be nice. Yeah, it wasn't.
I had so many friends that were like, Cuppy, I'd love to hear Afrobeats, but you know, I didn't want to take them to the parties because they weren't very inclusive environments. I don't know whether that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I know.
The Afrobeats club are in certain areas and in certain groups and certain pockets.
And my thing is, as an advocate for Africa, I felt like my job is to make sure everyone can hear Afrobeats.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I created Cactus, which, you know, I mean, Cactus is supposed to be that, which it has become. It's become this movement where, you know, hey, like anyone and everyone can come. And it's less, I would say it's less Afro, more tropical.
I wanted to touch on being an African woman. So I'm African as well, I'm from Zimbabwe, and I'm sure, I guess it's the same for you, being Nigerian, that culturally, in our families, it's kind of women, you're not necessarily told, okay, like, start your own business or go to work. It's more kind of emphasis on success about finding the right partner, getting married, you know, having children. And I know a lot of young African women might be watching this and they might be, you know, facing a lot of challenges around the kind of cultural norms of what's expected of women to, you know, be quiet, sometimes be submissive. If you're quite strong, it's like, oh, she's a bit too intimidating. What advice would you give to young women who are you know, struggling with that?
That's such a great question. And you know, so I just turned 25 and I'm in a place where, I don't know, I'm starting to really believe that, you know, it's sort of, you know, not to kind of traumatize anyone, but you know, when you want to be successful, a lot of it is about standing on your own. And you know, so hey, I don't have a boyfriend or a partner because I found that it's really hard to get that balance. You know, and a lot of success is sacrifice. So, you know, don't ask me about relationship advice because I don't have that figured out.
Neither do I.
I don't have that figured out. But what I do have figured out is following my passion and following my dreams.
What was it like working with my favourite artist, is Techno? Like,
no way. Is he actually?
No,
yes.
for real.
You know his song Duro? Like, I literally I just love him.
Are you being serious?
So when I was like, oh my God.
No, Techno is amazing. So, you know, he had that huge record, Pana, as well.
Pana as well.
One of my favourite songs.
It is phenomenal. And, you know, people really, really are starting to realize he's been around for so long. He's been a pushing force, especially back in Nigeria. And he wasn't always getting the platform and the recognition he deserved. He's actually responsible for Davido's hit "If." He wrote that whole record.
No way.
He's actually which is literally one of the biggest songs this year. As far as
It's on my playlist.
Yeah, so you know, Techno is such an amazing creative, and I couldn't think of anyone else I'd rather kick off, you know, my record project with. So Greenlight has been an amazing project, and what's really funny is it's called Greenlight, but I literally say Greenlight like once in the song.
Actually,
it's hardly in the song, but before I even finished the record, I always knew I wanted it to be called Greenlight because I wanted Greenlight to signify Cuppy ready to take her career to the next level. I want to do more in the UK as well. I definitely want to do an EP. That's on the horizon.
Finally, just to wrap up, what does the future look like? What can you let us into any insights on what you've got planned?
Of course, you know, so I feel like there's 3 really important things to me at this moment in time, you know, and I'll exclusively tell you guys first. I think that with the success of Greenlight, definitely I'm under positive pressure to make more music.
Yes.
Brilliant.
You know, so
Yes.
I
Sorry
would,
to put the pressure on you, but yes.
no, because
I know.
all everyone is saying is, where's the next song?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my, they're like, when are you doing WizKid next? When are you doing? I'm just like, oh my lord, like. I want to really focus on RVMG, Red Velvet Music Group, continue to grow it, you know, so we have our hangouts. I want to run other projects around empowering talent in London.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of cool things on TV. Like I said, I did my Fox Cuppy Takes Africa reality show. I did Channel 4 Lagos to London.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so I want to do more visual because I think I'm quite a visual brand.
I think, 100%.
Yeah, so I want to, there's a few projects we're talking about at the moment.
What a great way to end. Oh, you've been a dream. Thank
you so much for having me
thank you
on
for coming.
your I Am Mogul series.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
best thing ever.
I know.
I loved
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.